So now to Wall Street and the fascinating struggle between those individual small-scale traders and the big-time Wall Street powerhouses as they continue to battle it out over shares of the video game retailer GameStop. That stock continues to move all over the place, prompting outrage and lawsuits and maybe even action from the federal government. It's a complicated story. Here's correspondent Rebecca Jarvis with the latest.
What started with a group of young speculators banding together to buy shares in struggling companies like GameStop, taking on some of the most powerful hedge funds in the country, has triggered an investigation by the New York AG, a class action lawsuit, and calls by Congress for big changes.
But make no mistake about it, you are going to see a great deal of regulatory scrutiny. It's just a function of whether or not they apply it evenly to the legacy establishment guys and the new guys.
For weeks, the new guys have pushed shares of GameStop up nearly 1,700% until yesterday, when Robinhood and other online brokerages decided to restrict trading in stocks like GameStop, effectively making it impossible for the newcomers like 19-year-old JP Hurtado to buy more shares. GameStop tanked 44%.
What did you think of Robinhood's move?
I thought it was pretty unfair and unjust.
That prompted a major class action lawsuit against Robinhood, accusing the company of manipulating the open market, which forced Robinhood's CEO in the hot seat.
It was a difficult decision. We absolutely did not do this at the direction of any market maker or hedge fund. We're really in unprecedented times, and in order to protect the firm and protect our customers, we had to limit buying in these stocks.
Many calling foul, even Jon Stewart weighing in, who tweeted, "The Redditors aren't cheating. They're joining a party Wall Street insiders have been enjoying for years." And despite it all, JP says he's holding his investment.
I think the stock is going to go up a lot still, regardless of the new restrictions.
You did not sell today.
Nope, not a single share.
Kind of a David and Goliath story there, and Rebecca Jarvis joins me live with more. Rebecca, am I right about that? Is this just a fight over GameStop between some mischievous individual traders and a giant hedge fund or two? Or are there broader consequences for the market?
It is really not that simple, Terry, and there are broader implications and broader consequences. We should point out, by the way, JP Hurtado, who you just heard from in that story, he does believe that GameStop stock will crash eventually. He just doesn't think it's going to happen yet. So he's waiting and riding it and hoping to get out when it goes higher. In his estimation, it will. But Terry, there is no guarantee of any of this working out for any of the players. And the reality here is that many people, from the JP Hurtados of the world to some of the biggest, most powerful hedge funds in the country, have bet billions of dollars on stocks like GameStop. And it is spreading to other stocks in the market. The issue becomes, if all of this, because there will eventually be a loser in all of this, if all of this then spreads to the broader market, it could have an impact on 401ks and retirement accounts in the near term. And that is why the conventional wisdom is to buy and hold and do it in an IRA or a 401k, not in an individual stock, because when you're buying an individual stock, it is basically the equivalent, Terry, of walking into a casino and betting on red or black.
Yeah, and I always lose on that. So where does all this go from here? Is there a possibility there'll be federal regulation of this kind of activity, and is that a wise thing?
I think there is a very strong possibility that there will be new regulations as a result of this. Frankly, politicians, the regulators, they haven't kept up with all of the new technology. And we've seen this in other areas like Facebook and Twitter and social media. So many of these technologies, what happens on them shapes our daily lives, not just the conversations we're having, but the behavior that we are taking as a result. And I believe there will be a lot of conversation about it. I do not know exactly where that will go, nor does anybody. And the key question is, and it was posed in our story by Scott Galloway, a professor at NYU Business School, the story is a question also of, once those regulations are in place, do they help or do they hinder the little guy that they are trying to protect? Terry?
An excellent question. Rebecca, thanks so much for explaining that for me and us.